It's Powerback time on the Gutsy Podcast, your 20-minute boost to reclaim and refocus your energy. Get ready to have bursts of clarity, a boost of confidence, and the practical steps you need to make gutsy moves forward. You've got big things to do, so let's get your power back. You know that part when you're working on something that you really love, or you're at the beginning of a project where everything is new and exciting and you're just all in? It's a pretty cool feeling, isn't it? Except when that great thing, that thing that you love to do, completely consumes your life. Old habits pop in, your tendency to overwork shows itself, people-pleasing comes to the front of the line. It can get pretty messy pretty quickly. If you don't learn to protect your time and your energy by noticing what it is that you really need and setting up the tools and the systems to support it, everything and everyone will continue to use it for you. On today's Powerback episode, I'm going to teach you how to protect your time and energy and how to set up the system that helps support and sustain the things that you love. If your passions have become a heavy project and you want to get back to the essence of why you started in the first place, open that notes app on your phone and get ready for some realizations that you need today, because this episode is for you. I know we often talk about the things that we don't want, but we can't forget that sometimes old habits and old ways even show up in the things that we love to do. Yeah, we're making a lot of moves, okay? We're shedding old things. We're getting rid of stuff that doesn't fit anymore. We're leaning into the stuff that we really want. But unless we've done that inner work, unless we've made the gutsy moves on the inside, old habits, beliefs, patterns, the way we show up or not, it shows up even in the things that you love to do. And sometimes that thing that you love to do can completely consume you. Like it can take over your life. The thing that once felt exciting and new and fresh and expansive now feels like a burden. Like the idea of it makes you just be like, oh my God, that fucking thing. But the weird part about it is deep down, you're like, no, I still really want this, right? Like I'm going to go with the story here that you and I have both already done the evaluation that yes, I still want this. Yes, this is important to me. Yes, this deep down still excites me, but I need to find a better way to do it. I got to reel it back in for a second. I need to shift the way that I'm doing this, how I'm allocating my time, how much energy I'm giving to this. I just feel like I'm out here ping-ponging around and it's completely consuming me. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to get a better system in place because your ideas require this. Okay. I want you to hear that first loud and clear. Your success, your ideas, your impact require you to pull back, to recalibrate and get into a groove and in a system that makes this sustainable. Otherwise, you're just out here floating around, ping-ponging around, doing everything all willy-nilly and wondering why you're exhausted. And then you start hating the thing that you once loved. Like, that's not cool. So I think the first thing that we got to start with here is just even acknowledging that like, hey, yep, I still love this thing, but I need a better way. I am noticing that this is not working for me. I'm noticing the dread, the heaviness, the procrastination. I'm noticing that I'm not even interested in doing anything about it or with it because I don't like how I feel when I'm in it. That's information, okay? Noticing that, starting with that is everything. It gives you the chance to say, okay, how I'm doing this isn't working. I've got a bigger mission though. And so I'm going to pull back. I'm going to hold for a moment. I'm not asking you to stop doing things for the next 6 months, okay? I'm asking you to notice the moments when you're like, I don't like this. Because it's in those pauses that you can evaluate what's happening and what you really need. And when you know what's happening and what you really need, then you can set up tools and systems that help you support it, that help make this thing possible. It helps you go from dreading it to feeling good and accomplished when you're finished with it. It brings back the joy in the process of the thing that you really love and want to do in the first place. So let me show you what this looks like in real time. The Gutsy Podcast is a well-oiled machine at this point, but that is on purpose. When I first started recording, you know that I interview guests and I also do solo episodes. When I first started recording, I was just letting people choose when they wanted to be interviewed. I had no calendar system set up. I just had email. We'd go back and forth. Hey, what about this day? No, I can't do this day. What about that time? Oh, I can't do that time. You know, like a lot of back and forth emails. And sometimes they would choose Monday morning, and sometimes it would be Thursday late at the end of the day, and sometimes it would be Friday at 2:00 when my brain is just fucking done at that point. And it didn't take me very long to realize, I don't think this is working. And what I noticed about this, and this is a key part, noticing your body, okay? It's not going to lie to you. It's giving you information. I noticed that I started to dread interviewing. I noticed that it felt draining to go from, at that time I was running the agency. So going from leading a team or doing a design project in jumping right into doing an interview and then going back into like a client meeting about branding. Like my brain just does not stretch like that. And I would argue and say that most of our brains don't stretch like that, right? Like we're not really designed to task switch from such deep work on a regular basis. I noticed that I felt tired. I felt exhausted. I felt like, I don't know, I just wasn't showing up as my best self because interviewing, as I've learned, is a process. Okay. I have to get immersed in it. I have to be one with the interview. There's a prep time before it. There's an energetic space that I have to get into. Like for me, it's kind of ceremonial. And guess what? I'm also not the sharpest at all hours of the day. Shocker, I am a human. And there's definitely days and times of the week where it's just not my best time. 2:00 on a Friday afternoon, not the best time to be on. Not for me anyway. So I start noticing that this system is not working. I also started noticing that if I did 3 or 4 interviews a day, I was exhausted. Like it would take me a day, sometimes 2 days to fully recover from interviewing. And then it would take me forever to get back into the other projects that I was doing. And then I was beating myself up because I wasn't showing up the best. You know what I mean? Like it's just not good. But at the core, I actually really loved interviewing. I continue to love interviewing, but I have a better system in place now. At the time, I still loved interviewing. I still wanted to do the Gutsy podcast. I just realized something's got to change. The way I'm doing this is not working. What I realized and what I learned the hard way was that these were old habits showing up in a new form. And for me, it was 2 things. 1, people pleasing. I wanted to be available for everybody. Whenever it was convenient for you, I wanted to make sure that I was on. That's old people pleasing in a wrapped up new package. Okay. The other piece was overcompensating, proving myself. Doing 3 or 4 was showing that I was in it and I was hustling and I was grinding and I was making shit happen and I was getting ahead. Yeah. I was just trying to prove myself to who? I don't know. Everyone, myself. And what did both of those things give me? It gave me exhaustion. It made me second guess myself. It put me in bad positions where I was behind in other things. I was depleting my body. I mean, the list goes on. You can see here why I emphasize with my entire ass how we have to start noticing. Noticing is information. Learning the hard way is information. Continuing with it is a choice. All right, let's back it up. We are going to marinate in that for a second. Learning the hard way is information. Continuing with it is a choice. So yeah, we all learn the hard way in everything. When we're kids and we're learning how to walk, when you're riding your bike for the first time, when you put yourself out on the line to meet a new friend or you want to date somebody, like we learn the hard way every time. And then we either continue with it and let it continue to be hard, or we say, oh, that didn't work very well. Let's shift it. This is self-awareness at its best, okay? Is just slowing down long enough to notice, hey, I don't like how this feels. I don't like how this went. There's something about this that feels hard or sticky or heavy, and I want to do something about it. I might not have the answer right now in this moment, but I'm going to give myself the chance to figure it out. This, my friend, is a gutsy move. Protecting your time and your energy so that you feel good about your work, and most certainly feel good about the work that you love, that's a move, okay? And it starts with your intention of noticing yourself. Notice how in this story, how many times I stopped and I recalibrated. I noticed something was off and I created space to evaluate, what do I need instead? I started asking myself that question. What feels better? What would work better? Even if it's a little bit uncomfortable because it's new or it's a way that I've never done things before. Hell, I've tried all kinds of things thinking that they were going to work and they didn't. But all of that was information. I started to realize that I can really only effectively interview one day a week. Now, when I'm on other shows, I can actually do quite a bit more, but it requires a completely different part of my brain and a completely different level of onness. So it's not uncommon for me to speak on 2, 3, sometimes 4 podcasts on other shows each week. But when it comes to interviewing, to have people on my show, I can only really focus on that one day a week. So I started questioning, why am I doing these on Monday morning and Wednesday afternoon and Friday at the end of the day? Okay, no, that does not feel good to me. What would feel good? What if I selected one day a week that I'm available to interview? And you can bet your ass that my people-pleasing tendencies were like, oh, but what if people aren't available? Oh, but what if people don't like that? What if somebody that you really want to interview can't do Tuesdays? And I had to just accept that the right people for the show will have or make the time. Every so often, I make an exception, especially for my friends in Australia. But as a whole, 98% of the time, I'm only interviewing on Tuesday. And it was uncomfortable at first because I didn't want to let anybody down. I didn't want to miss out on an opportunity with somebody that was amazing. And you know what I learned from this? People make time. I also learned that I started to enjoy podcast interviewing again. I noticed that I could focus, that I could go deep, that I could prepare for my day. I noticed that I didn't have to switch back and forth between very different parts of my brain on a daily basis. I noticed that I enjoyed it and I felt better again. This is everything. I never would have realized this though if I didn't stop and question why I felt so shitty in the first place. I wouldn't have discovered this if I didn't give myself the chance to go against the old people-pleasing tendencies and consciously choose what I need first. Guess what? I have no problems recording on Tuesdays. I very, very, very rarely have anybody push back and say I can't do that. Nearly every guest has been grateful for the time and the opportunity for us to share a message with you. Now, here's the other thing that I learned in this process. I have a capacity of 2 interviews on Tuesdays, not 3, most certainly not 4. After 2 interviews, I still have energy. I still feel on. I feel good in my body. It's a good feeling all around. Any more than that, I'm exhausted. I feel drained. I'm not sharp. I don't feel like I'm as good of an interviewer as I know that I can be. And so I started to evaluate like, okay, where is my threshold? After I do 1, I still feel really good. Okay, I've got some more energy in the tank. I can do a second. Okay, I did a second one. I still feel good, but I'm at the upper limit of good. Oh, I did a third one. Now I'm fatigued. Now I have dry mouth. Now my jaw actually hurts. My energy has sunk. Okay, turns out 2 is the max. This is that kind of playful evaluation where if you're not sure, like, I don't know what will work, where you just start to notice and evaluate what's working and what's not. You try something out and you pull it back. You shift over here and you find out, yep, that's good. That's where my limit is. Let's do that. You know what I mean? Like, let this be fluid. We put such hard measures, such rigid shit around what we can and can't do, how we have to do it, how we can't do it, how we're going to block our time, how we're not going to, you know what I mean? Like, it gets so rigid That's not even enjoyable. Curiosity. Okay? Curiosity is the name of the game here. I got curious about where my upper limit was. And when I did 3 one day, I was like, okay, there it is. And I've never done 3 again. Again, learning the hard way is information. Continuing with it is a choice. For probably 5, maybe 6 years now, my max capacity has been 2. That's not changed. And the best part is it still works for my energy. That might change at some point. 6 months from now, I might be like, you know what? 1 is my limit again. Or maybe I'll get some wild spunk of energy and I want to do more. I'll evaluate that when I get to that. That's the other cool thing about this is like, we're fluid. Okay. This is not set in stone. We are not etching anything in diamonds here. Our bodies change. Our energy changes. The atmosphere changes. Heaven knows the world around us is always fucking changing. So we have to be open to continue to notice. And that noticing is within ourselves. Look, achieving the level of success that you know that you are made for requires you to be diligent and intentional about how you spend your time and your energy. And yes, it is very, very true, even for the things that we love. Dare I even say, most importantly, for the things that we love, because you have an impact to make. You have something in you that you know it's supposed to be in the world. This is part of your calling, part of your mission, part of your purpose. And you can't be fulfilling that purpose when you're burnt the fuck out and people pleasing, now can we? Now, the last part of this, and I'm going to recap this whole process, okay? So stick with me. The last part of this process is setting up a system to support it, okay? There are tools, there are apps, there is technology to help you with things, whether that's time management or organizing thoughts, managing your projects, managing your contacts. Like there are apps and tools all over the place. One of the places that I learned, okay, I really need support with this was making the scheduling process easier. How can I set up something to help me uphold the boundaries that I've discovered and created around interviewing? And so what I realized was I need a tool that helps me schedule. Something that helps me say, okay, 2 is the max. We can only do this on Tuesdays. I'm not going back and forth in emails 800 times anymore. Like that ship has sailed. I need something to help me. So something really important that I suggest is before you go searching for a tool, first identify your needs. What do you need something to do? What are your non-negotiables? What are the features or the options that you need to make this successful? And once you know that, then start looking for a tool. We've been doing this a lot inside of Auraline recently. That's my mastermind for women in business that are taking things to the next level, pivoting, growing, right? You're in growth mode. We share tools and resources. We had a gal share an incredible spreadsheet that she made to track leads. I showed the back end of my project management system and how I organize and stay on top of things with deadlines. That's one of the many powerful reasons to be in a group like this, because it shortcuts the things that you want to learn, but you don't have an ass ton of time to go learn it on your own. Someone else, another brilliant woman, has figured something out and is saying, hey, I want to help you with this. Here is my tool, here's my resource, and here's how you can use it for yourself. So on top of getting the support that you need around, hey, help me see what I can't see. I'm ready to make those next steps, but it feels big or it's overwhelming. You're getting the coaching around simplifying it, making it really clear, and that accountability system built in as you're doing it. You're also getting access to these incredibly valuable resources that shorten the learning curve and help you continue to make your moves. I've got just a few spaces available in our current group. So if you're interested in learning more about Auraline or you're ready to jump in, go to LauraAura.com/mastermind. I've also linked it in the show notes below. Once I realized what I needed, I found the tool Calendly, and then I set it up in a way that supports those boundaries, that helps me really maintain my schedule in a way where I'm not having to think about it anymore. So the cool thing about Calendly is you can say, I'm available on these days, on these certain times, and I want to set up this max capacity of this many meetings. And you save it and you forget it. Like it's just done. So when I send out the link for new guests to schedule, guess what? It's only available on Tuesdays, and it's only available at certain times of the day. And once it hits 2, that date becomes unavailable. It helps me to maintain success. It helps me to feel good. I don't have to think about it. I go in every couple of months and adjust my schedule based off of my workload and things that I've got going on. Like my son is graduating from high school in June of this year. So guess what? Laura's not available for the first 2 weeks of June because I don't know what kind of state I'm going to be in. But again, notice how that's even a conscious choice of its own to look at and look ahead to say, hey, I know that's a down week because I'm on my period and my energy is not very high. Or I've got a launch that week, or I'm traveling that week. So my focus is going to be very divided. In this case, my son's graduating. I know energetically I'm going to be all over the damn place. This is noticing what you need and choosing to uphold it. This is protecting your time and energy, friend. It's a simple decision. And then you set up the tool or the system to support it. I mean, it's just chef's kiss, and it makes everything so much easier. It creates sustainable success. And it's all because you made the gutsy move of asking, what do I need? And then you back that decision up with the move to implement it. When you start with what you need in the first place, everything gets easier. It gets more enjoyable. The project that you've been working on has life in it again. Your energy is expansive and peppy and excited again. And guess what? Your clients, the people in your world, they can feel that. You start enjoying your work again, and you get the movement that you know that you're ready for. It's like this shit works because when you take care of you, the things around you work. So to wrap it up in one fantastical little package, we are noticing when our body is off, noticing when something doesn't feel good, when you're feeling exhausted, noticing your limits, noticing if you're feeling depleted. That's information. Pausing, creating a little bit of space and asking, what do I actually need? Answer this honestly. We can figure out the how next, but we can't move forward unless you answer this honestly. Then we're making tweaks. We are shifting it, doing it a different way, setting up a system or a process that helps support it. And then test it out. See how it works. If you need to recalibrate, do that. If you need to fine tune, do that. Ultimately, you're going to find a way that you're like, damn, I wish I would have done this sooner. If you're kind of at that pivot point in business, if you're on the edge of a growth, if you feel that shift growing and you know that this next level requires things to be done differently, but you're not sure how to do that, let's chat, because this is the work that we're doing inside of AuraLine. Shoot me a DM or a voice message. We can just chat it out. Let me answer the questions that you have. Let's get you on to your right next move. You can find me on all the platforms using @thatLauraAura. And as always, until I see you next time, stay gutsy.